record. Record. Oh my god. Oh my god, I started streaming for 5 seconds. That's not good. Oh my god, I started streaming instead of recording. That's the biggest fucking mishap in my life. I'm happy I realized within 5 seconds that I was streaming instead of recording. That's massive mess-ups. And thankfully nothing like my because it was only like a second, nothing took. That's a big fucking oh my goodness, that's sad. But luckily I caught that before like I actually started, and I realized I was like streaming whatever. But yeah, it was oh my gosh, I have this like massive like I forgot what it's called. Um, it's something around my mic so that it kills the outside noise. My mic is also in a different position than usual. It's a completely different position than what I use for fucking life. Different position than I use for my streaming setup as well. I got something for it to isolate noise. Also has a pop filter on it as well, so I can talk more. As you can probably tell, just based on me talking whatsoever. How do I not have any items on? Alright, so we're going to talk about... Usually I don't. I really just talk without doing anything, but I need to get stuff done. So... We're going to talk about dawntrail. So... I beat dawntrail literally last night. I think it was like 11 o'clock at night. Probably 11 or 12 or 10. But I beat dawntrail. And the fun thing about dawntrail is that it's not really supposed to be... Okay, so let's have some background. Some background noise, I said. Let's have some background, right? Dawntrail isn't supposed to be this grand, like, story, right? It's not supposed to be some big thing where, oh, cool, you're going to get this massive story. It's going to have this incredible ending. It's going to have the best villain ever. It's like, here's the thing. Dawntrail is the beginning, right? You have to think about it like that. Dawntrail is the beginning of a new story. Dawntrail is the beginning of a new act. Not even a new act. It's literally the beginning of a new story. It's a new tale. That's my interpretation of what dawntrail should be, right? It is literally the last expansion was the end walker, you know, that's how that usually works. And we got dawntrail, which is a new dawn. That's actually kind of sad now that I say that. It's kind of sad that I say that. It's very easy in your face. But the fact is here, like, right, so because of that, you're not going to get this grand story, or you're not really supposed to. Dawntrail itself is very lighthearted, and a lot of the story elements, like, you're very much going to different places, dealing with kind of, without really spoiling a lot, dealing with successions of, like, power and play like that. Oh, I fucking hit the fuck on my mic, my bad. Well, not really my mic, but the thing that's on my mic. So you're dealing with all that, right? And the thing is, you don't really have, like, the massive part to play in it. You're just kind of like the onlooker. You do play a part, but you're not really the person that's like, oh my gosh, I'm the determining factor. Like, you are, but not really. So, like, you have to deal with that. You have to deal with, again, like I said, it's very lighthearted in most of the stuff, but in a lot of the aspects, it is somewhat kind of heavy because you do have to deal with some loss. You have to deal with family drama, like a lot of the things you have to deal with in dawntrail very much can relate to a lot of people. Well, not really when it comes to royalty, but you can still relate to the story to some point. Now the question is, like, is it a good opener? And the thing is, it is a good opener. Like I said, I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm not, because a lot of people haven't played. What the fuck is happening? Why can I move? I pressed F like an idiot. But like, you are dealing with a good amount of stuff. And like I said, I played all of it. I actually took my time with the story. I looked at all the cutscenes. Like, nothing was missed when it came to dawntrail for me. So, like, I did see it in all actuality. I didn't, like I said, I didn't skip anything. I did take a brief break to level up stuff. So I have 4 jobs that are 100, or 5 in total if you count Summoner, because I leveled up Scholar. But I have Warrior. I have Scholar, like I said previously. I have Scholar, I have Bard, and I have Monk. So I basically have everything in every role. levels. So, and I did end the game with my warrior because I am lazy and did not want to learn mechanics to the point where I was, um, I felt the crushing blow of mechanics is the best way to say that, right? So like, here's the thing, right? You don't like it's very much you do have a villain, not really. I don't like it's weird because you have a substantial villain, but then the villain you have like two villains in the story, and then one villain stops being the villain after seeing the wrongs of their ways, and then you get a new villain that was the villain all along, but then you kind of see their side to it. So it's like, yes, they're the villain, but then you realize there's a bigger villain in all of this. Who, but again, I'm not really trying to spoil shit. But like, there's a bigger villain, but the villain isn't really a villain. Like again, we don't really get a big or an actual villain per se towards this arc, which kind of tells you. I did initially talk to my friend about that, and I was like, they're cool. And it's weird because we don't really, like I said, we don't get a villain for the next expansion, so we don't know exactly what we're dealing with. And I was like, that kind of sucks because that way I would like want to know, okay, cool, this is who we're fighting against. And then after thinking about it for a while, I realized I didn't actually want that. Like, I didn't want to actually know if we have a big villain reveal, right? And the reason for that is the fact that, like, one, we don't really need one. Like, we just started the story. We do not need to see a overarching thing. Like I said, we just started. We very much have these really cool futuristic glam or gear that is basically going to be for everybody's glam, most likely. So that's a fun thing. But we do. Why am I smacking? Hello? But we do see a lot of stuff, which is like, that's how we deal with a lot of emotions in this expansion. But again, it's not like it is a good start. It is a very good start for the next couple expansions, which I'm still not happy about Viper being a melee class. I definitely still feel this, even though I still haven't played Viper. But playing Viper is not going to keep me from like not liking that they made Viper a melee class when we just got Reaper last expansion. I rather would have had, what do you call it? I would have had rather a tank, because like I said, we haven't had a new tank in a while. So I'd rather a tank than another melee DPS class. Well, job essentially. Like, why are we getting another one? We should not have another one. But we do. People like it. That's really all that matters at the end of the day, is if people like the jobs. Like I said, I'm still mad about it. Maybe it'll be in next expansion. Again, Viper makes sense when it comes to the story. I'm not going to explain why Viper makes sense, but Viper makes sense when it comes to the story and totality. So it makes sense. Did I use that word out of context? I have no idea. I just said it because it came in my head, and I don't know. I don't know if it actually worked or not. Also, I have my glasses on, and my eye tracking is working. Let's go, baby. But like I said, it's hard. It's very hard to talk about the story without spoiling everything, or even talking about something that is key story aspects. But like I said, I enjoyed it. It had its moments. There was definitely some heart wrenching moments more towards the end of the expansion. I didn't feel anything because I am mostly devoid because of my childhood and my upbringing. But I definitely did feel that a lot of the things are really good, and I feel like a lot of people definitely would have felt, was it like given a chokehold out of tears, you know? But like I said, I'm not gonna say I feel nothing. That'd be wild to say. But yeah, it really is nice, and like I said, it's a good opener. It's a really good opener. So about jobs as well. Jobs wise, there's really not really a lot of changes when it comes to jobs. You're not really getting any big like abilities, which is good because most of the jobs have their ability bar kind of how do you say, clustered because of how many abilities there are, especially like tanks. I forgot which job I had so much abilities on. I was like, I don't need any more. It might have been monk or bard, and probably monk. But like, also monk changed. I don't really like the change, but I'm not really gonna explain that right now. But the abilities really much just copied over set abilities. So after you activate ability, that set ability will release after using the ability, or will be used after a certain amount of time of a certain ability will be used. And I'm talking about warrior, by the way. But like a lot of the abilities kind of just overlapped onto the other abilities, so you had to use them after doing a certain thing with said ability, which is really nice because, like I said, um, we have too many abilities at this point because of the fact that we are so high level and we get so many abilities. I do feel like we need to have an ability um, overhaul because of how far we are going. Um, and again, if they keep doing what they were doing right now with overlapping abilities or enhancing abilities that are passive to a certain ability, it works out. And that would make life a little bit easier. But I do feel like we probably need ability overhaul because a lot of these jobs need their abilities kind of like reworked to a certain point. Because it doesn't really, I don't want to say doesn't make life easier, but it definitely is not good when you have so many abilities and you're like messing up on said abilities because you press the wrong button. Again, other people really just only put the abilities they need on their hotbar, so I'll put like maybe 3 or 4, and that's really it. And they'll only use the abilities because again, like for warrior, I really only need 3 abilities, which is the first 3, and I'm not really gonna be touching anything else. But I do have everything else just in case I need it. Also, I was like, no shade, but shade. Am I showing my fucking FC chat? I am balling right now. I'm gonna have to blur that later. I did not mean to do that. I'm gonna blur that. But hopefully I blur that. I'm gonna blur it. I forgot to put it on the vent. My bad. Um, I do have a big ass thing in the way that obstructs my vision, so that's probably why. And I also pressed stream by accident before pressing record, so that was also a problem. Um, but yeah, like I said, it is different. I do like what we're getting. I'm hopeful for the future of Final Fantasy XIV. I do know some people don't like it, probably because of the fact that it is an opener. It's not really meant to be kind of this grand fucking expansion. I think what people wanted a grand expansion because of like we just got Endwalker, so they're expecting another Endwalker, and it's like motherfucker, we just started. Like we just started this story. We're not getting something really massive. Also, all the dungeons are fun. That's the thing. The dungeons are fun. The trials are fun as well. Why are you complaining? We're getting good stuff. Now, do we have in these locations way too much Aetheryte? Yes. But most of the things are fun. You're getting a lot of story. You're getting a lot of you're getting a lot of like additional stuff. You have a lot of access to different mounts that you probably will like. I know my friend literally waited out for 4 hours. Was it this morning? Yesterday. No, yesterday to get the capybara mount. And then they were telling me that there were people waiting for 14 hours, waiting out so this fate to drop so they can kill the thing to get the capybara. I was like, I wouldn't do that. I did. I would go on. I would like look at his tracker and be like, okay, cool, I have to go there, and that's really it. I'm not waiting like 4 hours. But like, it's like in things like this, like you have content to do. The story is good. The story is like it's the opener, right? It is the literal opener, and we're having fun with the opener of the first expansion of this new story. So why are you complaining? I do complain about Viper not being a tank because I can. Because again, I feel like we have way too much fucking DPS class jobs, right? Here's the reason why I'm saying that. Look at this shit. Look at this fucking shit. How much DPS jobs we have? We have a fuck ton. This is too much. Like, this is too much. I'm not gonna fight the boss until we end though. But like, it's too much. We have, look, with Viper, we literally just got Reaper. So we went from 4 to 5 with Reaper, and now we have 6. We have 6 with Viper now. So we have 6 DPS jobs. We just got another. Well, we just got Picto, which Picto is fine because we didn't really have 4. Truthfully, if you wanted to even it out and you're just like, hey, we need DPS, you literally could have gone for another physical range DPS and still gone with Picto, and they would have been even. It's like, well, what about Blue Mage? Blue Mage is a specialty job. It doesn't really need to be counted. Truthfully speaking, you'll need to level up doing things. It's not even counted when it comes to the. It's not even counted when it comes to like leveling your combat jobs to get the all 90 or all 100 for the mounts. So you're fine. So it's like you could have evened that out, and you would have been fine if you want to go symmetry. Going for 6 here doesn't make sense. Again, I get if you don't want to. I also talked about this. I was like, I get if you didn't want to go for another tank because of the fact that like you're even on all the healers. Makes sense, but dude, like we didn't need another DPS. We just got another melee DPS. There was no reason. I don't really want to hear anything about Sora Line and people want to be Kiriko. They can pick Kiriko next expansion. Fuck off. And the thing is, like I said, Viper makes sense for the expansion. It does, but you could have teased it and like this is coming out next expansion. It's like, oh my gosh! After seeing it being played, I'm so hyped to play it. It's like you could have done that. You could have teased that shit. You could even have made it a thing where like one of the characters, pivotal characters, is kind of like your tutor or your mentor for it, which makes sense because then you playing it, it's like, oh cool, I know all about this. It makes sense to get mentored by you, or have somebody and they pass you off to somebody else because that's probably their mentor, secret mentor, whatever. Like I said, it makes sense later on if you include it that way. I don't like it. I'm currently playing Picto. I'm having a right time with it. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm just gonna level it anyway. But that's really gonna be it. Sorry for now. I gotta go in overdrive with. Actually, gotta find a blur, and hopefully there's a blur tool in DaVinci. I've never used it because usually I'm smart about this, but that's gonna be it. Pretty short. I really just wanted to go in depth with how I felt with the dawntrail since I just beat it last night, and wanted to talk to you about that. And that was really it. Like I said, next week, I forgot what I was supposed to be talking about next week, but I'll probably just make up a different topic. I think I was going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3, and now I'm running full. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. So I'll see you all again next week. My name's Oni the Incubus. That is my time, and I'll see you all later. I love you all, and later days. Peace.